I remember not too long ago having a discussion with somebody. Maybe I already repeated myself, so stop me if I have. And there were like little kids there, and there was another guy there who was like close to my age, probably even younger. And they were talking about like the kid's like, I'm a kid, I'm really cool, and you're a grown up, and you're really stupid because you're a grown up, which is probably a perspective that I have too. And the guy was like, what are you talking about, man? I can stay up as late as I want. I can go anywhere anytime I want. I can just drive and see friends of mine. I can eat as much candy as I want. You know, I can go to movies anytime I want. I can go swimming anytime I want. I don't need to ask anybody's permission. If I want to eat a whole bowl of ice cream tonight, I can eat a whole bowl of ice cream. I can eat 2 bowls of ice cream. I just remember thinking of that, like, wow, like, that's my life. I'm that guy. If I want to eat 2 bowls of ice cream, I can eat 2 bowls of ice cream. Like, I can eat 5 bowls of ice cream.
How do you know Bepstein?
How do I not know Bepstein? I know Bepstein about as well as you can know a person. That's not true. That sounds really weird. That's not at all true. How did I meet him?
Yeah.
I met him... Oh, I remember. I was living on Frisbee Street. Patrick and Randy and I would just hang out on the porch like all day, and like the neighborhood kids would like come over. It was a place where we knew everybody on the street. We interacted with them on a daily basis, much more like a home than a house.
And that'll take you to a stop sign and then make a right onto Frisbee Street. Yeah, man.
Think of all the things that you love about your life. Be thankful you are blessed with them. That's the only thing you can be absolutely certain about.
I came home from a trip. I was gone for like a week. And within that week, someone moved into the Frisbee house who I'd never met before. All I knew was like Patrick told me he was like this dude from the Mexican ensemble. Guy's so much fun, he's like awesome, and I was like, whatever, you say that about everybody. He came over and knocked on our door. I had gone to this like Chuck E. Cheese-esque place. Someone knew a guy that worked there, and he just like gave me a giant bag full of those friendship rings. So I came downstairs holding a box full of these rings, and I opened the door and it was Bepstein, and I was like, oh, who are you? Because I'd never met him before. It was just like a bearded caveman showed up at my door. He was like, I'm Ben, I'm just moved here, you know, I've been hanging out with your roommates. And I was like, okay, well, do you want to be friends? Because I have all these friendship rings, so it seems kind of fitting. And he took like 5 of them.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Birthday baby.
This is it. No more teenage years.
No more. Not to do adult stuff like eating pizza.
Yeah, man. Teenagers, they don't know they don't know what's up. You in? Capture the flag? Yo, Michael, you playing? Well, sounds like we got a lot of people who want to play. All right, we got a good team. We got a fierce team. They might have the birthday person, but that doesn't mean we should show any mercy, okay? All right. Where are we gonna put it?
That's what we should put.
No, I'm saying so they don't see. We should.
You see those rocks? You see those rocks?
Yeah.
Listen, you see those rocks over there?
Yeah.
Those rocks over there.
Those rocks over there.
There's like a hole underneath
there.
Everyone walk around somewhere and act like you're hiding it. All right. So they don't know which one of us has it.
I didn't get to bed last night, and tonight looks much the same. I may have to work tomorrow, but tonight I'm scheduled to be dancing in the rain.
My Patrick.
I got some songs to write, and I've got some friends to see. And when we feel alive, well, sleeping just ain't my priority.
One person in the middle, one person on the side, one person.
Because when we're smiling, I'll do anything to extend this feeling. Yeah, when we're smiling, I'll do anything to extend this feeling.
The way Song a Day started was actually sort of weird.
I was talking to my roommate at the time.
I had started recording songs for another neighbor of ours. Bepstein came over one night when I was recording him. And he was like, "What are you guys doing?"
I was like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to record my song." I was like, "Oh, you wrote a song? That's cool." He's like, "Yeah, for Song a Day."
And I just jokingly said, "Oh, we're just doing like a different song every day. He's doing like Song a Day."
I was like, "You have a song? Well, if you did, I could probably do this then."
And then Bepstein was like, "Well, if you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it."
But it might be weird. Like, I'll just write about what I know. And he's like, "What's the problem with that?" I'm like, "Well, all I know about is like pizza and ice cream. I can't just write a song about pizza and ice cream. Like, what am I gonna say? I like pizza and I like ice cream, but I don't like eating it at the same time." And then it clicked. I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go write my song. I'll be right back." Ahem. Bepstein song number 1, pizza and ice cream. And I said, "Yeah, I think I know just what you mean. It's kind of like how I like pizza and I like ice cream, but they don't go well together." And she rolled her eyes inside. From there, I was like, "All right, I did 1. I just gotta do 29 more now."
I guess I never told him that it wasn't a real thing because I was just really intrigued to see if he would stick to it, and he did. He did all 30 songs. And I guess like it just got to a point where, after 30 days I kind of forgot that it was a joke and it just became a thing. It was a lot like a middle school slumber party. You would just hang out with your friends and watch movies, build forts, play games or whatever. And you'd always like say to yourself, "Oh, we're gonna stay up all night and hang out," but then 3 a.m. rolls around and you're all just passed out on the floor. Bepstein would like go to work, come to our house after work, just like sit down on the couch, and we would order pizza constantly. We'd hang out, Bepstein would fall asleep on the floor, he'd wake up at 5 a.m., stumble home, go to work, and then the next day just do it again. That was like my whole life for a year.
This is the area of the basement where we just store tons of shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Every kid has that period where they're like, "Man, I gotta just like collect toys." Now it's just a little out of control. I'm actually kind of stoked. I found this guy today. It's from 1984. This is the series that has like the clamp-on hands. Woody Woodpecker lamp from the 70s.
Oh man.
Ghostbusters tent.
Wow.
We found this puzzle. This 70s Marvel puzzle. It has the absolute worst artwork I've ever seen of any comics related thing. This guy's whole face is like covered up by somebody else.
What is it? Yeah.
The lizard's like growing out of Daredevil's arm. The Hulk looks like he's like a sassy model. It's atrocious how this looks.
I think that's cool though.
I'm trying to give you a little piece of my perspective, to see things through my eyes. So I thought a good way of doing this would be to give you some live commentary on a song that I like. So
without further ado, a window into the mind of Bepstein.
Alright, so this song is called Groovin'. It's by a group called the Young Rascals, who later grew up and just changed the name to the Rascals. I think already you can feel the vibe of the song without grooving.
It was Maximum Summer, first of all, which I'm sure you've heard about.
No, taking it easy. I like that. Maximum Summer comes from the fact that summer in America is defined in practical terms by Labor Day and Memorial Day. Last year, we were in the very unique and magical scenario where Memorial Day came as early as it possibly could on May 25th, while at the same time, Labor Day came as late as it possibly could. I believe it was September 7th, giving us the potential of 2 extra weeks of summer, making this the longest summer possible, therefore giving us the phrase, maximum summer. Alright, so this is my favorite line of the song you just heard. In fact, I want to play it again for you because it's that good. Let's take it back.
Leslie?
There's no context, no backstory, Leslie.
I'm hanging out on a Sunday afternoon with all my friends. I'm only gonna give a shout out to Leslie. And what's Leslie's last name? And is Leslie a boy or a girl?
The thing is, we may never know who Leslie is, and that's okay. Because even though we don't know Leslie, we know all her other friends in the song. It's about hanging out with your friends, and that's cool.
But recently, I decided to look up if anyone else had any more insight into the song. Here, let me play you this line one more time.
I feel it coming closer day by day. Life will be ecstasy, you and me endlessly.
What? What? Did you hear that? The line is not and Leslie, it's endlessly. He says and Leslie. I mean, I'm speechless right now. Here, Ben, help me out.
All right, listen. This one word changes the entire meaning of the song. It's no longer a song about me and all my friends hanging out. This endlessly line means that it's only two people in the song. It's a romantic song about two people in love. And all of a sudden, when I thought I was hanging out with my friends, I was actually just the third wheel this whole time.
And sure, this experience is all good and funny in the context of a song, but like I said earlier, this is how I see the world.
You ready?
Yeah, man.
Silence on the set.
Set. Studio.
Studio set.
Listen to the producer. Sometime in the beginning of summer, Jack's like, so you're going to do 30 songs again? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? I'm not doing this again. That was hard work. I'm done.
All right, here we go.
And then, he badgered me a few more times about it. He's like, come on, you're going to do it. Everybody else is doing it. You're going to do it. Izzy's doing it. Patrick's doing it. Randy's going to do it. And if you all do it, then I'm going to do it too.
Jack gave me Bepstein's CD and this shirt that says, I survived maximum summer with Bepstein. It just seemed like a really fun idea. And they're like, you're going to do it next year, right? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Okay, cool.
Today is Sunday, July 25th, 2010. This is song number 3, and it's gonna start now. First year I spent in college, I was alone. From the day you got to college, you called it home. And I'll admit, I was so jealous that we could look at the same portrait. You see beauty, all I see is a wasteland. Sometimes I'm light years away, wondering if things will be okay. Wonder we get that point of view, thinking what it's like to be you. Don't know if I played that right. This is my 5th season with the Orioles. The title would be The Dream Job. I've been an Orioles fan since I was a little baby, and then I've liked making videos since I went to college. Okay, so this is where I do stuff sometimes. But really, mostly what I do is just walk backwards a lot. The hard thing about walking backwards is you never know where you're going. Take a seat. You want to watch The Simpsons? We got some of that in here. We got a bunch of bobbleheads on the floor. Oh, this is a video I was working on earlier. It's called This or That. Players choose if they want this or that, and then whichever one they choose the most of wins. And then you're like, oh, the team collectively likes this. So this or that was Bob Dylan or Bob Marley. There you go. That rules. You have a big mind.
Bob Dylan.
It goes on like that.
Marley.
That's pretty much it, I guess. You want a special message, Rose?
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yay.
Don't people pay a lot of money for that?
I think some money.
Sweet. guess it must have been right before Maximum Summer started. When I was doing this Mad Lib sketch for the Orioles that I was really excited about, and I think I was sleeping like an hour and a half each night. I had like 3 bands going in 3 days. I played like 4 shows in a row. You know, my brain was going like a mile a minute, just trying to figure out like, oh, what if I did this project? I gotta write this, I gotta finish this song, I gotta get this video, and I gotta stay up late, and I gotta edit this, and I can go back to the ballpark and do this. I had this fever of like 104, and I attribute it to just totally exhausting myself. I went to the doctor, and he's like, you gotta go to the hospital right now. They held me there for like a week. So I just took all the sheets, and I built this giant fort, like hung it from the ceiling and hung it from the TV. And then all the nurses came in, and I thought they were gonna start yelling at me. And they're like, oh, we gotta take your blood pressure. I'm like, okay, I'm in the fort. And they're like, okay. And I said, oh, do you want me to come out? They're like, no, don't move. We'll come to you. And they're like crawling on their hands and knees through the fort.
How many bands have you played in?
How many real bands or bands that played like one show and that's it?
No, real bands.
2. Max Livy Ensemble and Beast Infection.
Yo, man, what time we practicing?
Beast Infection is a composite of the least serious, most goofy, some of the most fun people I know.
We talked about it for like the first 2 years that we knew each other. We were like, it'd be so funny. We'll just make this band about dumb things and then play shows. A day later, we were just like, hey, Bepstein, you just learned how to play keyboard. We should have a keyboardist. And that happened.
So it's gonna be craziness in musical form.
If you don't care about good music and you want to, but you like costumes, then come to our show.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Beast Infection was just 5 people that are close friends that were just like, it'd be fun if we played in a band. We just had fun all the time. People like at the end of the show would be like, that was so much fun. It was great. You guys put on a great show. But the reality of it is that they're putting on the show too. Like, you didn't really do anything except hand them a silly string or a roll of toilet paper. And all of a sudden they think that it's like the best thing that ever happened. They think you're like a fucking genius. Like, you're like, hey, you should jump on that guy's back and then like run around in a circle. And then they do it.
I love you guys.
You guys are like one of the best bands in Baltimore. You're like easily the most fun band in Baltimore. Hands down. There's no band more fun and better than Beast Infection. My elbow.
It gives them an excuse to use all of the ridiculous shit they collect.
Okay. Got something in my eye.
Something sticking in your eye.
Sticking in my eye. All right, the idea came from, I'd say the same idea that 50% of my songs come from, which is me being self-conscious about age.
Is you too old or too young?
I feel like I have the interest of a young child, even though I have the body and lifetime of somebody who's 26 years old.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah. So I think that's the root of a lot of my songs, is that uncomfortable feeling.
Fear of being a man-child.
It sounds way worse when you put it like that.
Fear of being a child.
So if you could, would you stay a kid forever?
That's a hard question to answer.
You mean physically?
That's very relevant to today's song, but I don't know. No, I probably wouldn't. This is called Sometimes I Wish I Knew How to Be a Grown-Up. It is song number 8. I used to take comfort in the fact I was still a kid, that I didn't get get jaded and I didn't get burned out when so many others did. But as my friends change, I see what I have missed. And truthfully, I never thought I'd say this, but sometimes I wish I knew how to be a grown-up. Yeah, sometimes I wish I knew how to be a grown-up. You make me wanna be a grown-up. I said, you make me wanna be a grown-up.
More like thrown up.
Yeah, you make me wanna be a grown-up. Yeah, you make me wanna be a grown-up.
Bepstein, I hope you don't
Grow up.
I hope you don't grow up.
I
I hope you don't grow up in the ways
hope you don't
that
throw up in our house.
I mean growing
Before we
up.
move out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying, Bep. I hope you stay the way you are.
Stay with you.
Like you just the way you are. I hope you don't give in to the norms.
Alright.
or the
I hope you
Noid.
avoid the Noid.
I've been doing pretty well so far.
Have you ever been to an amusement park with Bepstein?
No.
Oh.
Do you think Daniel or Nam will want to go?
Hey, buddy. What's up? It's water park, roller coaster park, fun times park. They have rides where it's sort of water and sort of roller coaster all together in one. It's beautiful, man. It's like the ultimate summer experience. Bring a bathing suit, bring some shoes that you can get wet.
All right, it would be awesome if any of those fellas would go because we got a tradition.
This is called the Grizzly at Night.
Going to an amusement park with Bepstein is like an endurance challenge. So you wake up at like 6 a.m., gather up a group of people to get there just before the park opens. You dash over to the best roller coaster before the crowds get there, and you stay until the last ride stops running.
So good. Mom?
No. Just gotta let my stomach settle.
Alright, let's start making our way over there. We'll stop at the drop tower, we'll stop at the carousel, make our way to the Grizzly. Good times all around. Then we come back here at the end of the night. Never say you're gonna ride a ride later because you never know when it's gonna break.
It's not broken, it'll be back on.
I want to go back to Baltimore.
What?
Just want to go back to Baltimore.
Good luck.
We ride the Ferris wheel, we ride the Grizzly at night, we ride the drop tower again, go ride the Intimidator, go back and ride the drop tower, eat some pizza.
I'm gonna go in the car, gonna read some zines, hang out, and then go to the grocery store and finally get vegan food.
This is what summer's about. Thanks for making it, Jake. Thanks for waking up at 7 a.m. And I knew going into this that everyone who 2 days ago said yes wasn't going to go. That's the way it just goes. I'm really glad that you went. Can we open it? It's black and white. That's me terrified out of my mind. That's my camp counselor, Dave.
Bepstein inevitably falls asleep when it gets just too late for him. He gets too worn out from just doing too much.
Sleepstein is a persona that Bepstein takes on when he's exhausted.
What he does is sleeps pretty much anywhere he's sitting or standing.
He's fallen asleep mid-sentence. He can fall asleep like at a loud punk show.
But can still carry on conversations.
This documentary of Sleep Day 1 is going nowhere. We gotta get out of this place. Maybe it's the last thing we ever do. We gotta get out of this place.
You kind of have to be mean to him, or else he'll kind of talk his way out of waking up.
Man, I don't.
He didn't used to be like that. Maybe he just didn't have as much to do.
Alright, second win. No more sleeping.
Peach tree in the window, sitting in the window. Oh, but you're leaving so soon. Walking under a ladder, that's bad luck. But I think that only applies to humans. And you're a cat. How about that? It is some absurdly late hour in the evening. Technically, it's probably August 5th, but I wrote this on August 4th. Here we go. I'm gonna get me a rocket ship. And I'm gonna get me a time machine. And I'm gonna get a teleportation device just to get around. And I'm gonna get one of those bikes that travel at the speed of sound. And I'll explore the universe. But first, I'm gonna have to leave town. You're still recording?
Yeah.
Oh man. The crazy thing is that everyone else here is moving as we speak. You can look around and see. We're just here like using their house as a recording studio amidst this chaos. It's so weird. Moving out of your house. Yeah. This is it. It's the changing of a time. Used to be 3 frisbee punk houses. Now there's barely one.
Dang it. Ugh. We couldn't fit this couch through the door. In order to get it out of the house, we must destroy it. I'm gonna put my extra weight on it. Yeah.
But she's moving out of the same neighborhood had an effect. I think that, there was a vibe on Frisbee Street, that there was like all these punks living on the same street just having fun together, and that, that changed a little bit.
I've come here for 2 years, and every time I drink anything, I drink out of this cup. I think this should stay with the house. It'll be like a welcoming note for me, It's like, hey, cup's still here, you should come by,
You know what we'll do? We'll reserve a special spot for that and label it Bepstein.
It was no longer like a punk house community space in the same way that it used to be. Life moves on and context shift. I think it was just kind of, one of those natural dissipations of energy.
I really liked doing it, and I liked having to write something new every day. But then I got super busy, and I just didn't have time to finish it. It was fun, and I like what I did, but I just got distracted.
I didn't even start it. None of us really took it seriously, except for him. Even from the beginning, none of us really thought we were gonna do it. We just thought it'd be a cool idea.
Today is August 8th, 2010. Well, I've heard that being in a band is a lot like being in a relationship. I was raised in a traditional Jewish family. That's a value that was been instilled in me from birth. I went to the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School starting 7th grade. That's where I became friends with David Combs.
We'd hang out at somebody's parents' basement or something, and we'd set up a tray table. And if you got thrown in the tray table and you knocked it over, you were out.
There's only one way to settle this.
The man's way.
A little bit violent, not so many of our female friends like really usually up for it.
Oh, that hurt a lot.
I think like once everyone started, you know, getting more into like a party scene, it just felt very distant.
You know, that's a really awkward time for anybody. Girls come into the picture for the first time, really.
Clean everything up, right the fuck out. It's so dick of all of you. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Do one more thing like this, I swear to God, you gotta blow my house. I don't care. That's fucked up.
We don't want to drink.
We weren't really satisfied with the kind of social outlets that were presented to us, so we just made up our own.
David Combs came over to my house one day, and we were hanging out in my basement, and they found an old guitar sitting in the closet. He started playing some songs, and I was like, yeah, it's okay, whatever. And then he played my favorite song at the time,
What song was it?
Damn It by Blink-182. It goes like this. And that's when I realized I like this like faster, louder music that some people called punk rock. David called me up one day and said, hey man, I'm gonna start a new band. And we're gonna be called the Max Levine Ensemble.
Right here, man. Zoom out.
Whoa, what just happened, Ben? What's the context? What's going on?
We just finished the JDS one. It was awesome.
No strap, no shirt, and I still did my little guitar solo.
We just plain fucking kicked ass. I didn't mess up at all. Not once. I didn't even drop my pick. But it was awesome.
And everyone says we were good.
At the time, being a high school band, my biggest ambition was that we were gonna play the corner kick in Gaithersburg.
You know what I like.
We played there like 6 times that year. 200 kids would come out to each one of those shows. And then, you know, we kind of came into our own.
I think that one of the first tours we went on was this tour with our friend's band, the Bowl Cuts, and they had a camera. Every picture is like got Bepstein in the background giving the thumbs up, like no matter what anybody else is doing. And I think that's when we realized how adept he was at making that positive gesture.
I think Ben just really likes the innocence of that age. Your number one priority is just having fun with your friends, and that's a great feeling.
From there, just kind of, you know, it snowballs. You know, you play more shows, you write more songs. All of a sudden, someone will be like, yeah, DC mainstay, like the Max Levine Ensemble.
At that moment, you feel great, you know? Everything, like the stars align. That's your moment. But like when that's over, When it's over, you then have to just interact with people the way you normally do. People aren't there to cheer you on when you normally interact with people.
So bite me!
I need to get out of here.
You do?
Yeah, I gotta go to bed.
You go to bed? We're staying up all night. We're gonna get milkshakes. Oh. What's Randy doing? Is she on asleep?
She's already asleep.
That's Randy asleep. Today is August 7th. It's 3 a.m. and this is song number 16. Here we go. No matter what the scenario is, I never fully fit in. You know, I'm with adults, I feel like a kid. If I'm with kids, I'm like, oh, I feel like a kid, but I know I'm not a kid. If I'm with punks, I feel like, oh, I'm not as punk as you. If I'm with not punk kids, I'm like, oh, I'm more weird than you guys. Just every scenario I'm in, I always feel like, I guess the word's an imposter. I just feel like I'm just getting by, and hopefully you won't realize that I don't fit in this scenario.
People will be surprised to find out that he maybe doesn't agree with like a lot of the beliefs that are generally held by politically oriented punk people.
When you have this one thing to rally you behind, it's easy to identify with people. But you don't have that all the time. When you sit down and talk to people, they talk about, you know, they make comments that you're just like, oh yeah, I don't agree with this at all, you know?
Things Bepstein and I don't have in common, definitely religion.
Okay, if everything else in my life faded or changed, that's the one consistency that I feel like there'll always be in my life, is that I'd be Jewish, I will be Jewish, I was Jewish. You know, I might not always like pizza, but I'll always be Jewish, you know? I don't support the idea that stealing is acceptable unless it's like an extreme scenario of like bare necessity.
When there's a gigantic corporation that can afford anything and they don't help out their employees, you know, there's obviously something wrong with the structure of that company. And in my opinion, those companies and corporations have like fucked with small people so much that there's absolutely nothing wrong with stealing from them.
I keep kosher, so oftentimes I default to vegetarian practices about 90% of the time. 10% of the time I eat kosher meat, so I'm not a vegetarian.
I feel like it's pretty well known that, like, if you're eating meat, then something died. Like, you're eating something that at one point was alive, and it's just like, if you have the option not to, why would you not take that option?
I'd like to live in a world where everyone was on an equal footing. And I think that means that there's not, you know, the kind of economic coercion that exists that props some people up and keeps other people down.
I'm more of a capitalist and he's an anarchist. Usually I feel pretty good about being young, and I feel like I got the whole world ahead of me still. But every now and then I kind of sit up and think like, man, what if I'm wrong about that? What if I already missed my opportunities that I'm looking for in life? Like, what if, like, you know, I always think like tomorrow's gonna be better than today, and the day after that's gonna be even better than tomorrow. But every now and then I think, you know, what if I'm wrong? Like, what if like today is the absolute best day of my life? You know, like everything I've done and all these dreams I have and all these like crazy plans and things I'm excited about, like what if that's just not the way it turns out to be? That's a really scary thought. This year, either Jack or Patrick or someone was like, oh, this year will be adequate summer, as a joke. And I was like, no, man, it's not gonna be adequate, it's gonna be great, you know?
I think a lot of Bepstein's writing is about how he has this ideal youthful time in his life that he thinks back to, and he just didn't want to change. He just wanted to hold on to that. And I think that there's something really important about holding on to like a youthful, energetic spirit. But I think that in his life, he may be a little afraid of change.
Throughout his whole life, he's had this conflict where he's wanted to maintain his set of priorities that he's had since he's like been 14. The problem with that is that it doesn't really prepare you for a lot of the things you go through in your life. Conflicts that you have with other people, or like relationship issues, or the dynamics that change between people as they grow older.
Whenever I'm depressed, like I don't really talk to him about it. And that kind of bums me out because like he's someone that like I care about a lot, and I feel like it would be nice to have like that open conversation with him, but I just don't, because I just don't think he understands.
His attitude is to try to constantly encourage people to like have fun and play games and like just hold on to that spirit. There's also needs to be an acceptance that, you know, in different times in people's lives, they'll be more or less able to have that kind of carefree kind of attitude.
I wasn't like gaining friends this summer. I felt like I was losing a lot of friends. But certainly I feel like this summer, you know, hasn't been as exciting or as optimistic as other summers.
I waited all year for the season to get here. Now it's hard to admit that it doesn't feel right. The summer is broken like a hole in the ocean, and I hope it won't eat me alive.
If he ever stopped having fun, that would just be like, that'd be the end of it for me. Like if he wasn't enjoying life, how the hell could I ever enjoy life? You know, like it's just like he's as far as fun is concerned, he's like the inspiration for everyone.
I want to welcome you all to the show. Tonight, I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to take you out from your seats and put you right into my head. And you're going to experience the world from my perspective. It's a place where you're still only 14 years old, where everything you do is still fresh and exciting. It's a place where you feel uneasy and conflicted about something as simple as going into the pool during Adult Swim. Because even though you have this shell of a body, deep in your heart, you know that you don't belong here. Because life is a constant struggle against adulthood. Adults represent being jaded and uncreative and defeated. And the great tragedy is that with every passing day, you will lose a little bit of your youth. And that is what these songs are about. That struggle in all its beauty and confusion and wonder.
What would it mean for Bepstein to grow up?
For Bepstein to grow up, whoa. Shit.
Heading back to Rockville, going through the neighborhood. It's cool. Putting on my blinker. Safe drive.
Maybe I've been presumptuous in calling all this a mess. Maybe I've jumped the gun in throwing in the towel.
When everyone was leaving my former house, I didn't feel like I had anywhere that I felt comfortable to move into in Baltimore. I didn't really want to live by myself. My parents were always like, oh, we're not going to get rid of your room, like, come back. At some point you're like, oh yeah, well I guess I don't really need to find a place. You know, like my family they have what I like to call a real house. You know, like our walls aren't filthy. We don't have garbage everywhere. I'm comfortable. You know, like wake up maybe like 7:30 in the morning. By like 8:15, you're on the road. It usually takes anywhere from about 40 minutes to an hour and a half. I'll get to the ballpark in Baltimore. I'll be there till like 10 or 11 at night. And then it's another little over an hour to get back home.
I also kind of have a bit of Peter Pan syndrome myself. Like I don't want to grow up. I love being a kid. I have tried to hold on to it as long as possible, but I never thought I'd say this either, but it seems like it is kind of inevitable. Like it does have to happen.
He had so much material. I was just like, hey man, I'm booking this show. It would be like a really big help to me if you played it. And I just made that up. So I set up this show at the Art Space and I asked like the most random bands in the world to play it. And yeah.
Yeah. We're ready.
I feel like a lot of the Song of the Day songs are, you know, still drafts of songs. You know, you only have one day to do them. Because I work at the Orioles and I do video like, you know, 8 to 13 hours a day, it's helped me refine my skills. From there, this idea came about of just this really silly way of making videos, you know, making 2 of them, making them interactive. I can't really see any other opportunity in life to make this sort of performance. I can have other people help on these songs. It's not just me working on this, now it's a team of people that are contributing to these songs, and I'm just like the captain of this team. When all of a sudden this project I thought kind of reached its end point, you realize like, oh, the path continues so much further. There's so much more I can do with, you know, the same content.
That's how it goes. That's me.
I was born at the wrong time, living a lie, but I'm doing just fine.
You doing this 30 song in 30 days project?
No.
Favorite food. Ice cream is my other favorite. Problem is, thank you all who've come out here for this show tonight. It's really awesome. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a good time. This song's it's called The Effort You Put In. It's about how sometimes you do things that people look at you and you're like, why would you put all that work into this little tiny stupid project?
I didn't get to bed last night, and tonight looks much the same. I may have to work tomorrow, but tonight I'm scheduled to be dancing in the rain. I've got some songs to write, and I got some friends to see. And when we feel alive, well, sleeping just ain't my priority. There, huh? Trying to say something to me? What's going on? This is terrible. You can't play keyboard. Oh man, come on. What are you trying? No, man, you stay out of this. Listen up, man. You think I suck at keyboard? You think you're so good at it? Why don't you get up here in this video and you play keyboard? Yeah, shut up, man. Why don't you just get out of here? You're not welcome. Get out of here, man. Fine. Stupid. Sorry about that.
This is song number 30. We made it!
Yeah.
So you're all done.
Technically, I need to fade it out at the end and then press the export.
So
I'm done, yeah.
how does that feel, Bepstein?
Bittersweet. You know? I guess it's possible. Like, you have, you know, this amount of creativity, and you kind of went through and used it all up, you know? It's like eating a pizza. You know, like you only got one pizza. You can save the slices, put them a little bit there, eat one here, eat one there, or you can just go in one sitting and eat the whole thing. It's going to be delicious, but you're never going to have that pizza again.
I think that when you're grown up, that kind of implies that like you've stopped growing and you've stopped exploring and stopped learning, and so like that's why I don't think anybody should ever grow up.
I think it's completely possible just to like live your life exactly how you want it.
I think that you should stay young until you die, basically.
As dumb as it sounds, like you gotta work really hard at having fun, you know? You gotta put a lot of effort and time into doing things that are silly, or else it'll just be kind of boring. I think there's some risks that I take, but oftentimes they're pretty safe risks. I'll ride a roller coaster, I'll stay up real late and work on a project, but you know, there's no real risk there. Real risks are like not having health insurance. That's a real risk. I don't really want to take that risk. I like having health insurance. Real risks are like, oh, I'm gonna just move to a new town where I know nothing about it and I don't know anybody, but I'll just figure things out on my own. Like, I've never done that. I'm scared to do that.
Well, here's a different narrative, an alternate perspective. Let me tell you what I see. You found it once without looking, and it was amazing. Imagine what you can find if you actually tried, and I think you'll be just fine. Yeah, I think you'll be just fine. Yeah, I think you'll be just fine.
Next message. Yo, yo, yo. So here's the deal. I'm coming in at 10:30 p.m. and you can either go to sleep and not hang out and, you know, do other stuff like that, which is cool, or you can stay up all night and hang out, which is also cool. Your pick. No pressure. All right, see ya. This is Bepstein.
End of message.